What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark, MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today I'm going to talk about things like this. This is a little indie LGBTQ rom-com that I was debating. About whether or not to review this. I was offered the opportunity to screen this. I could have actually just watched this for free, but I kind of fiddled around with it. I don't know. I I don't like going after films that I perceive as being like these like independent films from people who they're just sort of breaking into Hollywood. And I was worried that this was going to be that. It's not really that. It's actually pretty well made. So we're going to go after it. That's what we're going to do. So subscribe, hit that notification bell, drop me a comment, share with your friends, do whatever you need to do to get on board with this cult following I've got here. Other critics say they go into things blind. I actually go into things blind, and I'm on my way to 500K. A lot of people, they always say they're on their way to, anybody who's under 500K is on their way to 500K. It's not a lie. So subscribe so I can get to 500K, because without you, what future is there really with things like this? But yeah, so this is a little cute gay rom-com, or rom-dram sometimes it's a rom-dram. Mostly it's a rom-com though. And it's pretty easy to take. It feels very Gen Z. These characters speak, talk, act, walk, whatever. They're not being written by somebody who's older and well, this is how we think kids talk. And it's kind of awkward. At sometimes it just felt like, yeah, this could be it. This is just, maybe this is improvisational. I don't know. Maybe this is just how they, which is kind of a testament to the actors to make it sort of feel like, and then there was sort of one performance I just really didn't like, but we'll get to that. So, yeah, there are two characters named Zach. Zach 1 is, Kieran Culkin's, voice double. This kid sounds a lot like Kieran Culkin. Don't know who these people. I don't know who most of this cast is. I know Charlie Tahan is in this somewhere, but yeah, I'm not familiar with most of these actors. But this Zach 1, the first Zach we see who gets broken up with at the beginning, where his boyfriend's like, "Well, I'm the hotter one." I don't know, kid. You're a little pudgy, and that voice is. He's so close to Kieran Culkin that if Kieran Culkin ever voiced something and decided to drop out, this guy could come in easily and do that. Especially because he's not even doing anything right now. This is his natural voice. So if he just suddenly was like, can you do this a little bit more Kieran for us? It would sound probably spot on. He's a hop, skip, and a jump away from being the world's most impressive Kieran Culkin impersonator. So, he's sad about being single again. He has some friends, a friend circle. And then Zach number 2 works at this talent agency, and he's got a best friend who I loved. She was my favorite part of the movie. And he also works for this bitchy boss who was my least favorite character in the movie and is the one that can't act. I don't know if she was somebody's realtor or third grade elementary school teacher, whatever, that got her into the film, but she does not feel like she's ever been in a film before. Her line readings are so weird. And it's a testament to the script because she's supposed to be unlikable, but she's unlikable for a different subset of reasons, not good ones. I just didn't like when she spoke on screen. It stood out to me, and I'm kind of who watched the final cut of it? Was anybody watching anything and going oh, she feels like she's on par with everybody? Is she giving really good face or something that I'm just missing and there's no audio description to support it? So, all of those things are possible, but to me, auditorily, I can say that was the weakest performance, and those line readings just felt like she watched The Devil Wears Prada and was like, I could do this. I got this. So Zach number one is just an assistant. No, Zach number two is just an assistant. He's told not to like recruit anybody. He goes off and immediately finds this great singer. She has a great voice. Loved listening to her. I was like, oh, we could do this more often. Can he go find more people? Can this film just be peppered with him like listening to people sing music theater at me for like half the movie? Because I might as well. There's no audio description here, so if I have to, I know that's not really a reason for the plot to like further the story, but who knows? Maybe. I mean, this is part of his job. He could just would have appreciated more of it. She was a great singer. I don't know the actress, but kudos. I this film doesn't have the budget to dub people, so whoever that was can actually blow, and great. Um, so I like that. Zach, number two, eventually we find out he's got this boyfriend who's really clingy, and then the two Zachs meet. Zach number one is trying to get alcohol, but doesn't have any money to pay for it. Zach number two pays for the alcohol, and like strangers in the night, they, you know, have a meet cute. But Zach number two still has a boyfriend, but that's not gonna last for very long because Zach number two's boyfriend is reading into the whole situation as now's a great time to propose, and Zach number two's like, "Whoa, I am not ready for this at this stage in my life. Thank you, but no thank you," which frees him up to be able to, because Zach number one, I know this is really confusing. I'm sorry, but this is literally the plot of the film: is two guys named Zach dating each other. Zach number one owes Zach number two a drink because he bought him one, so he's trying to get him to go out. And there's this running gag with Zach number one that people can't tell that he's gay. Like, oh, you just read so straight. And I was like, he doesn't read that straight. Like, he's, I don't know how he's dressed. Is he just wearing like a WWE shirt or something on? Like, what is it about him that's reading? They're like, oh, those shoes. I need audio description on the shoes because it's not like, like it's not like this role is played by John Cena, or where it's like this some like super masculine role where it's like, hello, I'm here. Wait, you're gay? Yeah, I do. I bench press 500 and I like dudes. What's wrong with that? No, it's just, I mean, he comes across as kind of like a nerd culture, which there are plenty of gay guys in nerd culture. Anyway, they go there too many times. Like they make that joke about him coming across as straight too many times, and I'm just like, he's not like, it's not so wildly preposterous. I guess I'm trying to picture what this dude looks like, that it would be so like, wow, I had no idea that the stereotypes just allude. Like, what is, anyway, so but they, of course, they end up going out and they end up dating, but it's complicated, and people are like, you can't date somebody with your own name. Whose name are you gonna call it during sex? Yours? So it's cute. I mean, like, that's literally the whole concept of the movie, is like they have their same names. So and then the film evolves from there. I'm not going to tell you the whole movie. I've got you up to a certain point. If you feel like this interests you, then you'll watch it. The thing about movies like this and things like this is one of the reasons I decided to review it is I like to support independent film, but actually supporting it and not just being like, fuck you for not having audio description. So on that regard, I was worried this would come across as being like a film that was destined to be lost forever to Tubi. I hope that's not the case, because that seems to be the case for a lot of films, is that they just they end up going to Tubi, which I guess because it's a free streamer ends up becoming the most accessible way for people to watch their film, because you can, for an independent filmmaker who can't get their film on any other platform, at least you're on a platform where you can tell people, I'm on Tubi, look for my movie. And anybody in the world can watch it. But Yeah, but there's so many movies like this that just kind of get lost on Tubi in and around the sort of branded content. And some films that end up just kind of stumbling, but they have these like major actors, but they're kind of shitty, like The Boneyard with Mel Gibson, or Crescent City with Terrence Howard. You know, like they get films like that too, where it's like there's a major actor in this film, but it's not good. Nobody else wanted it except Tubi. So, yeah, just getting lost in that. There are queer streaming services, so that would be nice if it could go there. It would just be nice if it could be on like a regular streaming service anyway, like Hulu, just, or I don't know, Prime, just there it is. It's just there. Uh, so yeah, I think this film could get lost. Interesting thing is, before I reviewed this, I noticed I was like the only review that's not an AI that exists on YouTube, that I would be the first one. So congratulations. If you worked on this film, I'm sorry that the blind film critic is the first YouTube review for your movie. But them's the breaks, kids. I don't know what to tell you. Um, as a I'm primarily a blind film critic, but I am also gay, and I'm astutely aware of the fact that a lot of LGBTQ films don't have audio description. They feel like they're so niche in and of themselves that it's almost like they don't recognize that there's another niche within the niche. So a lot of these sort of like indie gay films end up typically not getting audio description, which is why it's so nice when they do, and we get something like A Nice Indian Boy that actually is funded well enough to get audio description. To be fair, the film does have Jonathan Groff, but he's not like so big that I feel like he automatically triggers audio description. The cast of Wedding Banquet is a little bit bigger, which makes a little bit more sense that would trigger audio description, which it did. So a little bit sort of more major movie releases, but there are plenty of films that I've seen this year that fall under that sort of queer cinema brand, from Layla to Lily's Not For Me, that just we're not getting audio description. It's just not happening for us. God Save the Queens. I think that was the name of the movie. Anyway, yeah, so this is just one more LGBTQ indie film without audio description. Would have been nice. But again, this seems to be a trend. But if I don't talk about the trend, if I don't show and explain why there might be a reason to do this, that niches should support niches. It feels like a Dr. Seuss thing that was going to happen there, but um, yeah. So I liked things like this. It is largely dialogue driven, and it is set in the modern day, so I'm not super worried about, ooh, give me these great costumes. It's not like a fantasy or sci-fi film in that regard. So, but when you point out somebody's shoes as being so masculine that you thought they read straight, I'm kind of curious what the shoes look like now. But yeah, like what is the straightest shoes and that completely block gaydar. Plus, you never know where the locations are, where anybody is, what people look like. I'm white, so I'm never really fully pressed for representation for myself, but I'm always aware of the fact that there aren't a lot of blind film critics, so it's like other people are worried about representation. So, there are LGBTQ people of color, and where's the representation? It could be there, it might not be there, but we have no idea. There's no context. It's just a bunch of sound and words. But the script is clever. The performers are done well. The film isn't deadly cheap. It's a little cheap. But it's an independent film, so it's cheap in the way that they didn't pay extras. I mean, maybe there are. But they're not. I don't think there are. I'm gonna just go ahead and step out on this limb. And the reason why is because when we enter spaces where there should be more people, it's like it's dead. Like there's no there's no sound. So they go into these bars where everybody is just, I don't know, silent or something. It's a and so there's no background noise. You just go in a bar and it's like, oh, you walk down the street, the lack of sort of cityscape sounds or other people walking past you, those kind of things are just, they're gone. So it's a little bit of a that's kind of an indie thing. Although some films do that, and then they also have this weird like echoey thing where they didn't mic anybody appropriately. So not only do you not have, but then everybody sounds really echoey for some reason. So this one doesn't have that. Everybody at least is mic'd properly, so the sound came through clearly. So yeah, this is a mostly promising independent film that was entertaining for what it was. It's a pretty simple premise. I like the cast, I like the script. It just needs accessibility. I want to support independent film. I want to support LGBTQ films. And at the end of the day, I did end up liking this more than I did not like this. It's a little bit more accessible in terms of films that don't have audio description than some other films. You'll have less questions, I think. But still, I feel like there are some unanswered parts of this film. So I'm going to go with a 7.1 out of 10 or 71 out of 100, however you want to look at that. So that's that. It's fresh. Congratulations, things like this. Mama told you. There'll be, well, that was Days Like This. But Mama told me there'll be reviews like this. Anyway, welcome. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I'll see you guys on the other side.